Okay,
All right. Okay,
I'm
cool.
We're starting
gonna
to
go
record.
on.
And she's definitely got some issues going on over there.
Okay, everyone, we're going to start this. Welcome to Vivid Earth. I've got Alisa with me. Well, it's morning somewhere else, but it's night over here. I've got Alisa with me, and I've got my good friend Francine here as well. Francine is a very good friend, and she's a administrator on our Telegram channel and a very good researcher. So I thought I'd invite her on finally. So welcome, Alisa and Francine. How are you, Alisa?
I am wonderful. Hello, my brothers and sisters. It's great to be back here again. It's been a while, but I'm here. I'm
It's
here.
so good to see you back here, I must say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have been very busy, so everybody knows, just to get caught up. I haven't done any shows lately because, I had to get a job and pretty much save my home. So that's what I've been doing, and that's why I haven't done any shows lately. But now I'm back, and I'm really happy to be here and to join y'all. I really am. So
Yeah, I think people don't realize we all have life to deal with, right?
yes,
Most of us are
exactly.
not doing this for the money or anything else. It's just we felt compelled to be part of this movement and to help educate people, bring information,
Mhm.
share inspiration, because I think that's very important, to keep making sure people are inspired because our future really is bright. But there are a lot of sort of segues that people can go down in, a doom and gloom segue, this one, a Blackpool segue. So we want to make sure everyone is on track. And I think, that is a very important part of our missions here, is to make sure as many people as possible go to this, absolutely amazing new earth that we've been seeing
That's
in our
right.
mind's eye. And I think some of us actually remember that place because we can see it so clearly. It's like we have
Yeah,
seen it before. So they say
exactly.
there's no past, present, or future. And I believe that everything happens in a spiral. So, you actually come back to certain things. So I think that's where we're at. Now, Francine, I'm just gonna. I think everyone is familiar with Alisa. Alisa is a wonderful part of our community. She's working sort of in the background on some very interesting projects, and she had a big awakening. What is it, 8 years ago, Alisa? And since then, downloaded a whole bunch of information that came to her, and she's been sharing that on occasion. And so we're thrilled to have her back to share some more information. And yeah, Francine is a starseed envoy who's been born into a family with generational trauma, and just like many of us, to heal the family line. And she's been on an awakening journey for about 6 years now. And after reading James Rink's book Lone Wolf on his experiences as a super soldier, and has remained a steadfast supporter of all things super soldiers and people who were victims of the secret space program. So, her life experiences led her to where she is today, very unique experiences and information and work that she's done, just like all of us. We hold a unique puzzle piece, and our past experiences have served us perfectly for this purpose of, fulfilling an ultimate mission here on Earth at this very important time in history, probably one of the most significant times in history for centuries, and I think all of us have such unique experiences, and we don't always know exactly how that's going to fall into place with,
Right.
when our mission is really kicking off. But I think we're going to be so surprised because it's going to be a case of, wow, now I know why I had to do that in my life, why I pursued that, why I got these skills that I thought I couldn't use in the movement now. Well, suddenly it starts making sense, and you put your passions with your skills together and your background and your experiences, and you're creating that very unique puzzle piece that's going to help this mission here on Earth. But anyway, so Francine has, worked in very interesting industries as well, threat intelligence, cyber analyst, and a very gifted research analyst. And she's also part of our community, as I said, a good friend of mine. So the reason I brought these two ladies together today is because both of them are very interested in and passionate in Medbeds and humanitarian projects. So we're going to talk about that today, and also just about what's really going on at the moment, how things are progressing, and discussing the latest happenings. So I'm hoping Francine will sort out her Wi-Fi. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, Alisa, I'll hand over the mic to you. You can just tell us how you are doing, where things are at the moment, and what are you observing right now?
Well, I'm actually doing pretty good. I've definitely been in a new energy feeling. I'm sure everybody has, especially in America, because, with Trump's inauguration, it's like whenever November 5th came around, I could feel that energy, that red wave coming across America, because everybody was on board and in the same mindset. And whenever, he won, I could feel all of that energy. Yeah, yeah, thank God, yeah, from so many at the same time. So you can imagine the energy that was being fed out at that time, towards, let's just say, God, and it was like everybody was excited and you could just feel it. It was so amazing that we were all a collective consciousness, was feeling the same thing. And then God said, because of that, because we showed that we were together, unified on how we felt, that gave us a quantum jump, and also let me know that I have said in several videos that God said that 2025 was going to be the year of our catapult. And sure enough, that's exactly what is happening. Even more so since Trump got inaugurated. Again, there was so much energy, so much excitement, so much hope and belief now in the future, unified together. And I don't think it was just America. I do believe that is worldwide, because now you got people that are, I don't want to say they're bowing to Trump, but they're willing to work with them now. And even in Davos, whenever he spoke there, he owned their asses, but they were glad to see him. Everybody seems to be coming together, and all of these miracles that we have been waiting on, all of these signs, all these events that we have been waiting on is here and now. So I am definitely paying attention, and I'm feeling that as well. It does help with, I wrote a song about all the energy that I was feeling from the inauguration, and it's called Magic in the Air. And it's about all of our prayers being answered. God heard us, God felt us, and how we're flowing forwards into this wonderful golden age. And it's going to make all of these projects come a lot faster. I know everybody's been, when is this going to happen? Who's going to do this, and who's part of it, and who's controlling it, and blah, blah, how we're going to find out. All of these tons of questions for so long. And I have been a part of that, trying to help and answer those questions to the best of my ability. But I can definitely say that the ball is rolling a lot faster. The more frequency or higher frequency that we have, everybody is a collective consciousness, it makes time go by faster. And not just time go by faster, but it brings in all of these wonderful benefits and gifts and miracles for us. Okay, now here in America, Trump signed a whole lot of executive orders. And just like any president should do this, he got in office and boom, he was on it. He was making things happen right off the bat. Nobody had to wait a week, a month, or whatever. And it's happening very rapidly. And that's causing America, especially over here, for our energy to rise even higher, because we're seeing this happen. We're more excited. We're really, amplified. And this is really happening. So that in itself is making things come to us faster, manifest faster. Okay, and that includes these projects that's going to happen. That includes the RV, the currency reset that's coming at us. I cannot, everybody says, it's next month, next week, tomorrow, whatever. They're always hearing that. Yes, my brothers and sisters, it's in the future. But I do know that that future is here and now. Okay, it is going to happen. It's coming to us very rapidly with everything that's occurring with this brand new energy and God's gift to us. Okay, so we can say that this is our catapult year. So prepare ourselves for the things that are coming. Because even Trump is talking about Tartarian technology already. He's talking about the Medbeds. He's talking about these new technologies that can be used in hospitals for all kinds of benefits, right down to the fires that was in California, to the hurricane damage in North Carolina. He's talking about bringing in so much that's going to blow our minds. So, and this is definitely a catapult. I mean, we're going into all of this. And the Medbeds, that's going to be something that's going to be not just needed, but desired on a scale for not just one person, but for all. You'll have compassion. You want to help so many. So those are going to be coming in too. And how that plays out, it's a little bit different, but I'm going to leave it there so that y'all can ask me questions. But other than that, it's been great, my friends, and I'm enjoying the ride. So.
Yeah, it certainly is difficult to keep up with all the things happening on a daily basis,
Mm.
literally like not one dull moment. And Mr. T's just hit the ground running, and he's not stopping anytime soon. And it's just all very interesting to watch. And of course, there are people that are concerned now, oh, this AI thing and all these like criminals that he's putting on the front stage, and and all of that, as we discussed, has a reason and a purpose. But I wanted to just bring Francine on. She's got some issues with the Wi-Fi. She's only going to be on audio. Francine, how are you
Okay.
doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, we can hear you
Yes.
now.
I'm a big fan of Alisa's music. I use it in the gym. Thank you, Alisa. Very
Thank you.
inspiring.
Thank you very, very much. I tried to do just that to help my brothers and sisters stay in a positive state of mind and, raise their vibration. So dance, my brothers and sisters, dance.
Incredible.
Wonderful. So, Francine, what is your feelings on what's going on in the world? I know that you were quite interested in chatting about Medbeds today. Maybe just give us a little intro on what you see going on around you in the world right now, and what are the burning questions on your mind?
Well, I think that what's very pressing right now is not to feed off the archonic energies, because we have to imbue our reality with divinity, with light, with compassion, and not get emotionally attached to the paradigms of the past, which is all about fear, control, strife, violence. We must be able to astutely and coherently manage our energies and be mindful every day of our thoughts and our emotions so that we may bring about our own reality. Let us not forget that Matrix has been hijacked by the demonic forces. And now that we have unplugged from the Matrix, it is up to us to decide how our own Matrix should be. And I only see a President Trump, who is positive, who is not in polarity consciousness, but in unity consciousness. When he talks about AI, he is giving us a choice. If we want to be controlled, then we should go back to the Matrix. We should be observing President Trump's new policies regarding AI technology in a positive light, because AI is neutral. It can be used for good or evil. So I believe that President Trump is giving us a choice and replacing the old paradigm of control. So I am no longer adhering to the belief that President Trump his consciousness has been hijacked or is considered to be a controlled opposition. I do not see it that way.
Right.
When it comes to the Medbeds, I do believe that the military is greatly protective of this technology, because we still have the minions out there. And this is global, it's throughout the world. We have to clean up and do the military arrests. If the Medbeds do come out, and when they do come out, it's because it is safe enough to let them out. And for the general public to avail of them. So that is my point of view. I shall
Well,
leave it there.
yeah, you are correct. I mean, we cannot put that kind of technology out on the field whenever you can't trust the players. But it is, I want to say it's like in three kind of parts, because I do know that the military has a lot of them. Okay, and they're going to serve a great purpose for the ones that we have like underground or on bases. Okay, but I also know that there is a another section of it where the quantum med beds are on these islands. Those are the ones that I'm a part of. Okay, and those are designated for the ones who came here from the higher dimensions, the 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, they came down here incognito. These are the ones that has all this advanced knowledge inside their DNA. And those ones are for those beings that came down here that God called. Okay, if you were called here for this rescue mission, you will be a part of that. And most of us are, okay? That's the good thing about it. Because we're the leaders and the way showers, the architects, engineers, and the scientists, the drillers, the landscapers, the water engineers, that's going to come in and fix all of this, make these projects happen. Okay, so because you need your top people and your foremen, and then whenever you have that set up, then you can set up these projects and hire the locals around you. Okay, that's giving them jobs, that's giving them security, that's giving them everything that they need, and they can see the possibilities and they're part of it. And that's going to raise their frequency and their vibration as well. And eventually that's going to get them into these med beds, because you want everybody to have their opportunity. Now, as far as the military, that's going to be certain people as they see fit. They're going to give you like a number. You're going to have to wait your turn, which is still good, except they're the ones who prioritize it. Okay, they might say to somebody else over here gets a chance before this person over here because they said so. Okay, now when it comes to the island med bed, there is no list. These are God's people. They will be brought there. Okay, there you don't have to wait your turn, so to speak, or stay in a number. These people are like the main pieces you want to set up on the chessboard worldwide. Okay, so that they can get these projects started and also start hiring people to get them on board to make these projects happen. Because the more we do, the more people see, the more they're going to come on board, because they can see it and believe it then. We're the ones that's going to show them this stuff is true. So, and I think that's fantastic for all of us. Yeah.
And educate them, because most people don't know what quantum is, or that
Right.
this
And then
kind
the
of
third section of that is those who get to go on ships. They will be picked up by ships. Okay, that will be their people. And they have a particular reason. Maybe they just needed to be boots on the ground for a certain amount of time, but now they get to go back to their family and they'll work with their families on doing certain things. So those are the three types of medbed scenarios that I am aware of. Now, if you get to go onto a ship, kudos, but you have to have a certain frequency in order to get on these ships. Okay, it's like you can't get on these or go through it if you don't have a good frequency. Okay, but that's the reason I say these are other alien species that are in disguise. Okay, they can have that kind of frequency, and then they'll get to go onto ships and be able to take part in whatever project they're doing. They don't need to look human no more, you know.
But I think at that point we'll probably get a big part of our memories back, and we'll kind of just know
Yeah,
what
then that's
we
what the MedBeds is
where
going to
we're
do. It's going
from.
to take us back to the original blueprint. And in that original blueprint, you're going to remember why you came and what you were supposed to do, right down to the greatest detail, including all the gifts, talents, and abilities that you came with to use. If you need to know 10 different languages as part of what you're going to be doing, you'll know those languages. You'll never even have to go to school to do it. It's already in you. Okay, and all of these other like quantum computer guys, that deal with stuff like this here. I mean, it's in you, and that's what I'm saying. Whenever the medbed opens all of that up and releases it, you will be able to have these gifts, talents, abilities, and know where to go and what to do and who to pick up and who to go do with and everything else. You'll know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. That's an
Very
advantage.
interesting.
That's a big advantage. Um,
And may I add something? In the
yes.
meantime, while we're waiting, we should just be working on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Our own frequencies
Mm-hmm.
and our own health and well-being to the
Mhm.
best of our ability. Thankfully, Robert Kennedy is making America healthy again.
That's right.
So we look
Yay.
for We know that he, on the 20th of January, on President Trump's inauguration, Robert Kennedy has given a stipulation, or is it a mandate? An order for fluoride to be removed from the waters, no longer to add fluoride to the waters, and to stop accepting GMO foods, genetically modified foods, from coming into the country. So we can work on that, on our own health in a holistic manner in the meantime, and our energies, because the Medbeds reads your frequency, and you have to be at a certain frequency or vibration to avail at least of one of. There are thousands of Medbeds, 3 major ones, but and the one that does re-age, because my focus is really on re-aging the seniors, 55 and up, because we want people with wisdom to guide the younger ones into the golden age, as we are the architects of the golden age. These people need to work on their frequencies, and for them to avail of the Medbeds. And working on the frequencies means doing shadow work. It's not all love and light. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of inner child wounds that you have to heal and release. And you'll be surprised that when you look back in your history, that there may be some disappointments and some conditioning whereby you had to please your parents or society and denied your own truth. And so we are all having to reprogram ourselves and design our own internal software, to upgrade our hard drive, so to speak. So yeah, that's very important between now and then. So people should not be anxious or in fear that these technologies will not come out. Let's say they don't come out. At least we have worked on ourselves and on our health. And we should just be open to remaining positive, body, mind, and spirit. If we have any addictions to thoughts and behaviors, if we have any addictions to victimhood or to being unforgiving or begrudging, we should work on that right now. It may take a month, it may take years, but we should keep working on that to be part of this this timeline, the highest timeline, the positive timeline of the golden age. And I should leave it there.
I definitely agree with you that you need to. I mean, I tell a lot of people whenever I talk to them, you are the star of this movie. It's all about you. It's not about everybody else. It's about you. And you need to face yourself. If you need something to give you a visual, so that you can have a focal point or something like this, here, talk to yourself in the mirror. That's who you are. Accept who you are. Talk to yourself. Look into your eyes. God's looking right back at you. It looks just like you. God decided to look like you. Okay? So talk to yourself in the mirror. Have these conversations. You'd be surprised on how you can get answers from that. But if you can't love yourself, nobody else will love you. Okay? And you need to raise your vibration. And this is a good way of looking at it, my brothers and sisters. No matter how bad your past may seem to be to you personally, some of it is horrific to some people. Okay? But if you hadn't gone through that, you wouldn't be who you are today. So forgive it. Love it, let it go, because you learned some valuable lessons from it. Whenever you show appreciation that you can learn love and appreciation from something so horrible, that is showing God that you are changing, that you are willing to accept what was where you are now so that you can move forwards. Okay? The past, I even did a song about it. It's, tomorrow never comes. God has told me that, tomorrow, yesterday isn't real and tomorrow never comes. It only matters right now. Okay, because you're always in the now. They call it tomorrow, or they call it the past, but that's not true. It's always in the now. Now, do you choose to go to the past and stay there, or do you choose to stay in the now and move forwards? And whenever God says, talk about meditating, you don't have to sit there and just be quiet and do nothing. If that's, that what you like to do it. But whenever God talks about meditation, it's you being in a happy state of mind. That could be dancing, that could be singing while you're cooking, it could be coloring, drawing, whatever it is, whatever makes you happy, even watching cartoons, believe it or not, whatever makes you laugh and happy raises your vibration. Okay, so like again, it's all about you. You are the star of your own movie. So how do you perceive yourself? Do you perceive yourself as the hero or the victim? Okay, but even in any movies, you start out, things are rough, but by the end, the hero, he got a lot of knowledge and he kicks ass, because he's not going to take that crap no more. So, I mean, think about that for your own perspective, because it is a vibration thing. And when it comes to these med beds, the mechanical ones that's just going to be coming out, those are just like a placebo, my brothers and sisters. If you don't believe it, it will not work. So you're wasting your money and your time. So always, if you do decide to go and it costs money, bless your money before you go. Okay, bless yourself before you go, because God put you in that position, and have that mindset. A man might have created that or built that, but God gave man the idea to build that. So don't give praise to the person that made it, give praise to God, and go in there and say, well, if you didn't want me here, I wouldn't be here. So you got me here because you want me to experience this. And I believe in God. I trust God. So therefore, let the magic happen. Be positive, because that's one thing they don't tell you whenever you get ready for procedures or anything like this here in surgeries. If you stay positive in a mindset, then it's going to be to your advantage. But no, they want you stressed out and scared and everything else. Well, that means that the outcome is going to be not as positive as you want it to be. So, and I'm going to leave that there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, it's only the now moment that we have. So every choice that we make in this now moment, every decision we make to be a certain way, to treat people a certain way, to love ourselves or not, that's the only moment you have. It's not like nobody's going to notice, because
Right.
you notice. If you have bad thoughts, everything gets recorded. And they say it takes 17 seconds for a thought to turn into a manifestation. That's how quickly you start manifesting. So
Yeah.
imagine that. So what are you spending your thoughts on? So it's just becoming very mindful. But, we know some of these med beds, yes, you have to be of a certain frequency to be able to go onto them. And that's why this work that Francine is speaking of is so important right now, because we're not just sitting twiddling our thumbs and waiting for all this to happen. And we like these victims, and these beings are going to come and save us and fix everything. No, we're part of this mission. We every part of this saving of Earth mission, as the White Hats, the Earth Alliance, the Galactics. We are part of it, and we came here for that part. So just don't just sit on your hands and let this time pass. Use this incredibly valuable time, because it's all about divine timing here. So everything will happen in the divine timing, and we drive that process as a collective. So if we want it to happen faster, well, we've got to get on with things and not sidestep what needs to be done. We have to focus on those things. We have to focus on ourselves. So we are the ones that are either speeding it up or slowing it down. It's not like, why, when are they going to bring this, and when is that going to happen? And I've been waiting for 5 years, and I see those comments every day. And I feel sorry for those people, because they just sit and wait, and they don't realize that they are a part of this, and this reality that we are co-creating together. It's happening through us, not to us. So people forget their role in this whole movie. And like Alisa said, you are the main character in your movie. Are you going to just be like a dismal main character that nobody believes in and is playing a mediocre role? No, this is the role of your lifetime. You are going for that Oscar. Just make it count, without having a huge ego, but just realizing time is precious and don't waste it. And the funny thing is that I was about 10 years old when I was just like, I was boggled. My mind was boggled. I was thinking, surely not everyone in this world can have all these intense emotions that I have. I'm pretty sure I've got this figured out. I'm like the only real person here. and everyone else are actors and extras. I was 10 years old and I couldn't be more right, could I?
That's
Because
right. Exactly. Yeah.
because we are the only main character, our main character, and we are the only one that we can control. We can't control other people's behavior. We can't control, how things are going to go down, but we can control our part in that and our contribution to that.
Exactly. And,
So
and God says, that this is a really good way of looking at it because God, said, you're not waiting any longer. You are preparing. Okay. So just be
exactly.
happy. Just have your happy day. Stop worrying and stressing out about all this stuff. You know it's coming forward. Just enjoy your day. You're only awake, for maybe 8 to 10 or 12 hours, at a time. Everybody thinks it's 24 hours. No, you're only awake about 8, 10, or 12 hours out of that day, some longer, but for the most part, that's the only time you got to get through. So try to make yourself happy. Do something that makes you smile. And remember that you're the star, so anybody that comes up to you, it's pretty much ad lib how you going to react to it. That matters. You're the star. So say something a star would say, react the way a star, somebody with love in their hearts. So be patient and kind to those around you to the best of your ability. Because once you put it out, it's going to bounce back to you. It's going to come back to you 100-fold. So just continue to do that and stop stressing out about everything and just let your day happen. I mean, you got a job, that's great. Go do your job. Don't be discouraged or I hate this fucking job. A lot of us have that, but try to change that mentality because as long as you say you hate it, it's going to hate you back and it's going to make it harder. So just flow through it to the best that you can by controlling your thoughts. Okay, while you're at work, it's just control your thoughts. I got this. I'm a winner. God is here. God is on the move, and all of this stuff is coming forward. Just constantly stay focused on that positivity to the best that you can, because we're all out for that global award. So that star. That's the only thing we can do. Stay positive.
And the thing is, we're not only the actor, but we're also the producer of this
Hmm.
movie. And we can flip the script any day we want because we're in charge. So if things feel awful and yuck and poor me, flip the script.
Yeah,
Completely flip the
exactly.
script. Write a new one. Read the first few lines until you memorize it, and off you go.
I wrote a song called Flip the Switch too. So that's just that. Rewrite it. Rewrite your story. Don't
Yeah,
let the past hold you down. And if it comes upon you, you're the one that can rewrite that, and say, okay, it's a memory in my mind and this is how I remember it. And if it comes upon you and it makes you depressed, nope. I'm putting that to the side because one, if all this stuff didn't happen, then I wouldn't be who I am today. But then you got to think about somebody, another version of you is going through that. Okay, you're remembering it, but somebody else, another you is going through that. So make it a positive one. No, I see them getting out of it. Things are good, blah, 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 blah. So not only did you change it for yourself, but you changed it for another version of yourself. Okay. So, and that's a good
absolutely.
way of doing it is to always give it positivity because there's all these other yous around you and they're making these decisions. And sometimes whenever they're making these decisions, they're coming at you. You're remembering it like it's you. Okay. It's your past. And some of them are just as severe as what you experienced yourself. But when it comes at you, it wants to bring you down instead of you realizing, oh, it needs help. So let me change it. Change that narrative for them and for yourself. A good positive outcome.
Absolutely. I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but Francine made a wonderful suggestion. We got inspired actually by Jenny Lee. She's a remote viewer. She always rings the bell for the children doing her broadcasts, and I think this is why many of us are in this mission in the first place because of the children. Many of us could not fathom and stand the fact that that was going on, and we had to be part of this mission here on earth so that we can help the children. So she rings the bell in all her recordings, and I thought we could do that as well. And instead of doing it at the end, maybe we can do it now because it's also good in keeping all the dark ones away because they don't like the sound.
That's
So
right.
Francine, do you want to ring the bell for
Abs-
us?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I just wanted to say before I ring the bell, um, I stand by both your comments on remaining positive. And by remaining positive, um, towards ourselves and others. It means that we must accommodate various points of view about ourselves and others, but still remain neutral in the state of observation, not invested in conflicting thoughts and
Right.
conflicting news. And that is a form of meditation. So now I shall ring the bell. I want to thank first all the Anons and white hats and whistleblowers throughout the world, and the people that have sacrificed their lives to save the children who have been unnecessarily and horrifically sacrificed throughout eons. So this is in salute to President Trump, the White Hats, all the Anons and Truthers, and people in the disclosure movement, and as well as the children who sacrificed their lives unnecessarily.
Yeah. Think positive about the children. Only see positive outcomes. Don't think about negative ones. Don't think about what was. Think about what is.
Yeah.
Can you hear the bell?
Nope.
No.
Oh, I just rung it.
Sorry, I thought you were done.
I'm very sorry. It must be the speaker. Can you hear it now?
Just look at your Zoom settings as well. If it cuts out background noise, normally you won't hear it.
Just know that I rung it, even if it didn't come out in speaker.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't hear that. Maybe I can. I don't have a bell, but I have a tuning fork.
That's fine.
You guys
There
hear
you
that?
go.
Yes.
Did. I heard that. That works. Thank you.
Okay, it's the
Thank
idea
you.
that counts.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah, it's almost like a tale of two timelines, isn't it? Because my goodness, last few days I really see like two distinct timelines splitting off, and some people just really choosing that lower timeline, and it's hard to watch. You know, and you try to help certain people, but you know, if they don't want to see that, then you have to accept that's their journey and that's their choice, and we have got to honor and respect their decision. But it really is, because you know, we choose that timeline. Are we, you know, I just, there's somebody on one of the groups, and the only reason I entertained him because I was feeling like it was starting to drag down the energy in that group. You know, it was like a WhatsApp group somebody put me on, and when Sasha Stone was in town. So, you know, all very awake people, but this one gentleman who does very good research, especially medical research. So I respect all of that, but of course it's all doom and gloom, and it's all going to hell in a handbasket. And Trump is the controlled opposition and the Antichrist. And look at all these things that he did, and he did like a whole Substack article on all the bad things Mr. Trump did over the last few years. But it's probably 1% when compared to all the good things he did. And that made me think you really are choosing. Either it's like the glass is half empty or it's half full. It's all about perspective. It's all about how you see things. But it's amazing. Somebody can stand right next to you and see a completely different picture. And I really feel like we're going to start seeing a splitting of these timelines now. And we cannot get drawn into, because you can't convince the blind to see, because if they cannot see, they cannot see. And you cannot convince them that just use your eyes. They cannot see because they're blind. So, you know, but anyway, I just did what I can, and I just left it there, and I said, I'm going to just exit this conversation now, because I appreciate all the work that you do, but I think we're on different timelines. So I'm going to just leave it here now, and, you know, just bow out gracefully.
There you go. I mean, that's all you can do. I mean, I see that too, you know, but I do understand, you know, I've been on this mindset for a while that everything outside of me is me. Everybody that I speak to and talk to is me. So how am I going to talk to me? How am I going to treat me? And I'm going to be kind and loving to me because I deserve, to be kind and loved to as well. So it's like, love thy neighbor as yourself. So whenever somebody comes up to me or whatever, I always think, action, cameras on. How am I going to react? What am I going to say? This is ad-libbing. So I try to make it as humorous or understanding or as patient as I can without losing my cool, because I keep it constantly in the front of my mind. I'm talking to myself, so don't lose your shit. And
Don't be
it's
triggered,
easy.
right?
Yeah, don't get triggered because it's another version of you that's going through something, and they're coming to you to help you learn something or help you to realize it. But as long as you battle against it, you'll never find out what it is. So just, try to be understanding. We're supposed to be these grown adults, right? Well, act like a grown adult. That's the way to look at it. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of us are adults but are not spiritually mature. This is the problem. And also some people are not emotionally mature. If
mhm,
they're emotionally mature, then they're not spiritually mature. It
mhm.
takes a lot. We're all a work in progress, I think.
Yes, all a work in progress. Exactly. Everybody's on different levels. And that's okay, because we was at that bottom level at one time, didn't know nothing, we were blind, right? So, and something happened that's changed that, and something will happen for these others that are like that. Hopefully, the majority of them will wake up as well. But I do know it's going to take a lot of visual for these types of people. That's the reason why we get out here and we start doing these humanitarian projects, and they can see it. Then they're going to start having these, revelations. And whenever they do come, we're going to be patient enough to understand that they need help. So we're going to help them with their spiritual, or their physical, to the best of our ability, to get them to the point where they can use these med beds. But a lot of these people, unfortunately, they need to see it in order to believe it or to change.
Right.
Yeah. Now that kind of brings us back on track. Elisa, I always wanted to ask you, but I don't know if you want to answer it here, but I'm going to answer it anyway. Ask it anyway.
Okay.
So beautiful story about your awakening and all of this. Now, at this point in your life, can you tell the audience where you get your information from? Is it you talk about getting it from God?
Mhm.
Is it kind of a channeled information? Is it a conversation that you're having? What is the process for you in getting this information and knowledge and um, realizations?
Okay. Well, whenever I got that initial major download, I do think that a lot of information was left inside of me or woken it up inside of my DNA. Okay. But with the readings that I do, um, if I'm talking to like a star family, somebody's star family, it's like they're in the same room with me. I can hear them outside of myself. I just can't see them. Okay. But if it's like guides and angels, it seems to come from up here. Okay. And then you'll see me, I'll look up because I'm looking to where the sound's coming from. Okay. But whenever God speaks to me, it's literally my heart is talking. Okay. And I can feel it throughout my system, inside outwards, not from outside in. Okay. But I think that's, we all have this ability. It's just that God helped mine to come online to be able to easier to discern, who's speaking to me. Because a lot of people say, well, I hear God in my mind. Well, if that's you, that's good. I'm not going to say that that's wrong. But the way God has it in me, that for me to be very distinguished about where it's coming from is very, very helpful. But you think about, like a light or something that blinks as you talk. Okay, that's what my heart does whenever God's talking to me, and I just sit still and I just listen to it. Okay, but it's a full glass kind of feeling. Okay, because it's in you can feel it throughout your whole body. I can feel it. It's like a speaker on the inside of my body, and I can actually feel it. Because God is within. But I do know that God is outwards too. But this is His way of, or his and her way of letting me know how to distinguish the two. But whenever we sit still and pray and stuff like this here, or even whenever you're talking, talk to your heart, because that's where God
Yes.
is at. Okay. That's the reason why, people forgot. You look down when you pray, right? It's because you're talking to your heart. Even if you talk out like this here, that's good too. But the focal point is to talk to your heart, because your heart will talk back to you. Okay. And that's the reason why these bad guys use this technology. It's called the mind of God. And then people can hear God in their head. Okay. And I'm not going to say that there's good things about that and bad things about that. When it's negative and they're forcing it, that's wrong. But there's some people that actually get it in their mindset, maybe because God wants them to come down to their heart, so he has to start somewhere. But that's how I experience it. And it's a very blissful feeling. This makes me very, very happy whenever I can have these conversations with God, or God starts conversations with me. I mean, I don't have to set an appointment. God will start talking and giving me information whenever God feels like I need it. So, and definitely was preparing me for 2025 and giving me this information and telling me who the players are, and try to. And God also said, everybody, God said, be the observer, not the absorber. Okay. Watch and witness and only participate whenever you're supposed to. Okay. But otherwise, just to be observer and have that positive mindset, because God is in control and God is driving right now, and it's all wonderful. So I'm looking forward to it in it. So is that what
Wonderful.
you meant? Is that what you meant by your question?
Yes, no, I think that helps people understand, where is it that you get information? It all makes a lot of sense. Now, just to talk about humanitarian projects, because the medbeds are also closely tied to humanitarian projects, and a lot of people will be having medbed facilities through their humanitarian projects.
Right.
Now, what is your connection? I know you're working on a couple of projects and you can probably only share certain information, but maybe share with us what you can share. How did you get involved in some of these projects, and get started in it, and maybe an update as to where things are at the moment?
Okay. How do I got started in it? Well, before the pandemic hit, I was looking for a house. I was going to buy myself a house. And so I was looking at what I could afford, right? So, and I'm looking at nothing, nothing, nothing. And then I finally found something that I thought, okay, I'll settle. This will do, And then the pandemic hit, and the realtor lady says, well, we need to get this done in 24 hours. And I said, no, that's not going to happen without an inspection. And so she calls the homeowner and then calls me back. She said, well, he's willing to drop it by $10,000 if you do it within the next 24, 48 hours. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it without an inspection. And so, and because the pandemic had hit, everything fell through, right? It didn't happen. So then I got ticked. I got pissed. I was like, why did you put me at the threshold of all this kind of good stuff to get this stuff done? And then, yank the rug out from underneath me. And God said it's because I was settling. And I said, what do you mean I was settling? I was picking what I could afford, you know? And then God says, well, if there was, no holds barred, no money limit, what do you want? And I was like, well, what I want, it doesn't exist. And God says, well, if there's a no holds barred, what do you want if you had all the monies in the world? So I took it upon myself. I have a program on my computer. It's called The Sims 3. And it's not necessarily for the game that I play. I like it because you can build. Okay. So I went in there and I built my dream house. Okay. It's a glass beach house. Okay. The whole thing is all made out of glass. Okay. And it's got a dome on top of it. It looks like an observatory is the best way to look at it. So then, and it's on its own little island, right? And I'm like, okay, well, this is what I want. I said, that'd be about $1 billion. And then 3 weeks after I had built that on my computer, I had my Tartarian friends, Hanai and Kaylin, come pick me up. And they took me to an island, and there was my glass beach house. And it was pretty much like the way that I built it. And I was just shocked. Whoa, 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 whoa. I said, how did this happen? And they were telling me, that God, told them to build this for me. This was my glass beach. As I was like, I'm going through it and I'm looking at it and I'm just in a stunned phase, because I'm thinking it was just 3 weeks before that I'm talking about this here and creating it and so forth. And there it is, you know, all of its glory. And then I'm starting to notice certain things about this here, this beach house, because it's rounded and it's got a dome on top, right? It's 2 floors, well, 3 if you count underneath the decking of the beach house. And then you got a floor and then you got a second floor, and then there's a dome because I like to look out at the stars, right? And I'm noticing that the glass going all the way around doesn't have any seams in it. So, and I'm thinking, this is one piece of glass. How did they do that? And I said, you know, did you bring in just one piece of ground glass and just set it on top of each other? And then they said, no, it comes together like a kit. And then they showed me how they did it. They bring it in, they bring in 2 pieces of glass, and then they'll put it together. And then there's this little machine that'll go up the seam of it, and it melts it and it turns it into one glass. So all you have to do is put it together, and then it turns into one piece of glass. Same thing with the dome part of it. It was like pieces of pie, and they just put it together, and there you go. It was just one piece of glass. And now I'm looking underneath the sinks because I want to see the piping. I want to see where's the water and stuff coming from, you know. And I'm not seeing any pipes and stuff, but I can see like a thin layer of what would be a pipe if it was round, but it was very, very flat. Anyway, and I'm very curious about all of this and the technology that's in this here, this beach house. And it has a lot of holographic abilities too because it's got nanotechnology in it. Okay. But it has a stove, okay, that I can use. You can, and it's got a replicator in it. You can get all your ingredients out of the replicator, then you can cook everything you want to, or you can get it out already pre-made. Okay, now this is blowing my mind because I had never had access to a replicator. I've never seen one. I've heard about it, just never seen it. They're about the size of a microwave, okay, and then you just put it in what you want, and they already had it set up for my tea, the tea that I drink. So that means somebody scanned my tea. So I asked it for Alisa's tea, and it actually gave me a glass of tea, and I thought that was pretty awesome. But as far as the lighting works and everything else, I didn't see no bulbs, okay? And they have this little pad. It's like a little clear pad. Either that or you can speak it, but you can tell it what to do. Lights on, lights come on, right? But at the bottom of the bases of each of the walls, on the top floor and then on the second floor, at the bottom base, think about the crown or the molding that goes around the bottom. It has all the technology in it to make these, the glass itself either go dark or clear. So you can make it go, you know, you can make it like sunglasses if you want to, but you can also put designs up on there, okay, like bricks or flowers or whatever you want, just like a screensaver, okay? And the nanotechnology and the glass itself is what makes it happen. And I was just impressed with the technology and how quickly it was put together because I asked them, I said, how long did it take you to put this together? And they told me less than 3 weeks. And this is a 5,000 square foot glass beach house. That's a year and a half, 2 years easy, okay, on regular standard time, okay, maybe a year and a half. But that I was like, there's no way that this was done in 3 weeks. But when I seen them, how they put it together and how quickly it can happen, I said, this is what I want to do. And God said that's why he put me into building houses for 30 years, is because that was going to be an ability and talent that I had that I can use going forward. So that's whenever I decided to do the glass beach houses. Now there's going to be houses and stuff that's going to be done in other things as well, but that's what I want to do because to me it's a kit. You know, and that means you can put it together very fast, very productively, like on an assembly line. Boop, 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 boop. And you can do all of this. If it only takes, you know, 3 weeks to do something like that, that means at a normal 2,500 square foot home, an average home, that would be done in a week. How many, can you imagine how many you could put down? Can you imagine? That is phenomenal to me. So that's the reason why I wanted to go that route. And God said that's what his plans was for me anyway, is for me to do that. And to be a part of the Medbed facilities. Okay, that's going to bring in everybody, like I said, it's incognito. They came from 5, 6, 7, 8D dimensions. They have all this knowledge within there and their DNA. They came here to use this ability to help us to go forwards. So the ones on the islands is for those people that came here. That's incognito. Okay, they are their leaders, way showers, engineers, architects, scientists, all this kind of good stuff that's going to get these projects starting. Now, within doing that, you get your foremans, okay, the people that's going to help you run your project, okay? project managers, okay, that's going to help with this. And then from down below that is where you hire people around you to give them jobs if somebody's here, but you're going to need somebody that's going to start that. There's not enough scientists and architects and engineers right now that could fulfill all of these humanitarian projects, especially when you got you got hundreds of millions of people that's invested into this currency. So who's going to help with these projects? There's not 100 million scientists, you know. So you got to think, where are these people coming from? They're coming from the ones that's in us. We're the ones that's incognito. So once we get out of the quantum med beds, back to our original blueprint, we'll remember why we came here, who we're supposed to go get, and all this kind of good stuff. And then these projects will be forthgoing and getting started on a massive scale. And then that's whenever the public is going to start seeing it on a grand scale. So, but that's how I got tied into it, is that God told me that's what I was going to do, because that's where I'm going to get my workers. Because my statement, standing at that glass beach house, if I could build these things in 3 weeks, now if you give us the med beds, then you give me healthy workers, and healthy people make great workers. You know, so there you go. God, just like, you already got it figured out. So that's going to be, it's a benefit. So, and the technology that goes with it. So we're going to start seeing a lot of technology that we've never seen before. And now the people who are the top ones, that's going to be nothing to them. They're very familiar with it. But then we have to train people down below us on how to use this stuff. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
How
Yes.
exciting.
That's absolutely beautiful. I look forward to the training itself. I'd like to be able to train with these technologies. And I'd like also to run my own medbed healing center in the very beginning.
Mhm.
But my future, far into the future, after this technology has become more common, I really would like to be part of interstellar, intercultural, interplanetary, cross-cultural program, so to speak, so that we can learn about each other's star families. And I don't really see myself in a house. I see myself more in a craft. But in the beginning, yes, there has to be the medical center. I put a great deal of emphasis on both physical and protective security. By the way, med beds are free. They're free for
Yes, they are.
everyone. Yes.
The quantum med beds
Yes,
are free.
exactly.
The mechanical ones will not be.
Yes, exactly. The military quantum med
Mhm.
beds, to be exact,
Right.
are
Yeah.
all free. Yes.
Mhm. So, but the way
What
they're
an
doing
exciting
it,
time, guys, to be
yeah,
alive when all
it
this
is
is
a great
starting
time
to
to be
unfold.
alive. I am so excited for all of my brothers and sisters out there, because, you know, I'm along on this ride with you. And I am feeling very honored that I get to be a part of it and get to see a lot of these here so-called miracles coming into play. Even though it's going to take some technology to give us that miracle, but that was part of this plan. So I'm looking forward to it.
Indeed. And I hate to do this, but we've got a Zoom now happening now. I just sent a message out to say I'm going to be 5 minutes late.
Oh, okay.
But the time has flown, and we have so many more subjects that we need to dive into. So we'll have to do a part 2. But
There you
any
go.
last parting thoughts from your side, Alisa?
My brothers and sisters, you are already seeing the miracles starting to happen. We have been waiting patiently for this flood of information and miracles to come into play. And it is happening worldwide. Okay, not just in America. Okay, just be patient and remember, you're the star. You've already succeeded. You already won. We got a global gold award waiting for you on the other side, you know. So keep your days positive, my brothers and sisters. And remember, you're everything that you see, no exception. So be kind to it, because it's going to come to you like a flooding gate of miracles that we have never seen before. By the end of this year, it's going to blow our minds, brothers and sisters. Just stay positive, because I'm rooting for all of us, and success is the only outcome.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Francine, any last thoughts from your side?
Well, I stand by Elisa's comments, of course, but I would just like to say very quickly that we must be very conscious of our thoughts and emotions at every moment, because we determine the nature of the physical reality.
Mhm.
That is all.
Absolutely.
Thank you both, ladies. I salute you.
Thank you.
both.
Thank you,
Thank
ladies.
you.
And
Thank
I
you
hope
so
you
much.
both have a wonderful evening because I know it's evening over there where you're at. So,
It was
but
lovely meeting you, Alisa. See you
it was
next
lovely
time.
meeting you too. And maybe we'll get another chance to do this, Francine, with you'll be able to
Absolutely.
have the video instead of just the audio, okay?
It would be such a great honor.
We'll
Thank you
definitely do a
both.
part 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
ladies.
ladies.
And I love you, my family.
I
Send
love
all
you,
lots of
everyone.
love.
Thank you to all my super soldier friends, James Frank,
Bye.
Rock Cloud, and everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.